Hi, welcome all. In this video, we will see handling elements part 1. So as part of this video, we'll see how to handle text boxes, radio buttons, and how to handle checkboxes. For this, let's go to the website demo.automationtesting.in/register.html. So here we have so many elements, text boxes, text area, again text box, again phone text box, and then password text box. So how to handle all these text boxes? Right, for this we'll go to Eclipse. I'll create a class, new class, handling text boxes, and we need to check this checkbox, public static void main. When you check that, it will generate this method, otherwise you have to write. So I'll remove this, and in our previous video we have seen that how to launch the browser. Right, this much code is enough, so I'll take this code as it is and I'll paste here. So instead of writing again, so I'll remove this green code. So these two lines are to launch the browser, these two lines are to launch the browser, this line is to navigate to the particular URL. Once I go to this register.html, I need to find the elements and I need to enter something into this. So we'll try to inspect this, and we already seen that in our previous video how to handle, how to find the elements using XPath, CSS selector, all these things. So we'll use the same way. Here the first name text box is called placeholder equal first name. We'll take an XPath, right? We'll go there. So web element, everything is web element in Selenium. So web element first name text box is equals driver dot find element by dot XPath. So we need to give the XPath. So I'll give that. Before that, I'll import web element. Web element is also one of the interfaces. So everything is web element. Every element is web element, as it automates only browser site. So web pages. So element on the web page. That is the reason everything is a web element. Then I'll try to write the XPath. As we already know, double slash and the tag name input in the square bracket @ placeholder is equals in the single quote. Also this is first name, FIRST, first one is name. So this is how you will find that element. Now once you find that element, you take that element, that we have one of the methods that is called send keys. You see that? Send keys. Send keys is a method to enter something into the text box. So I'll enter just some dummy data. I'll say first name, and I'll copy paste the same thing. We'll try to find the last name. Okay, so I'll make it is last name, and then here I know already, that is the reason I'm just writing last name and last name dot text box, and here I'll mention last name. Okay, it will enter data into the last name. Now we'll try to find one more element, that is here text area. I'll inspect this, and this is the tag name text area. In this entire web page, I do not have any other text area. That is the reason I'll depends upon the tag name. So I'll go here and I'll try to find the same thing. I'll just copy paste. I'll write, otherwise I'll write web element. What you say? Address text area is equals driver dot find element by dot tag name. Tag name is text area. So this element I am finding with the tag name. So we already seen that so many ways we can find the element, 8 ways. So we already discussed all these things. So same send keys, and I'll say just address. I am giving some dummy data. So after this, I'll go to email. When I inspect this, I have type equals to email. Okay, type equals to email. You need to find that ng model equal to email address. So you need to find some unique property. Then you need to write the XPath or CSS which is comfortable. So already I know all these things. That is the reason I'm directly taking. But it is real-time application. If you are visiting the first time, you need to find that if other elements having the same kind of attributes, is it duplicate or not, all these things you need to mention. Okay. Otherwise, if you say simply input @type equals to, I say email, you see that it is identifying, and here you see 1 of 1. 1 of 1 means only one element, which that is unique. So I'll go here, I'll try to write once web element email text box. Okay, driver dot find element by dot XPath, and I'll give the XPath and close email text box dot send keys. I'll give some dummy email ID, email @gmail.com. Okay, now we'll try to take one more. What is that? We'll go here and I'll drag some up, and I need to find the phone. So we'll try to find the phone number in different way. Okay, I'll use, this is also input, and I need to find phone number. We have ng model, it seems. Yeah, ng model equal phone. But instead of giving the entire phone, what I'll do, I'll try to do something like one of the methods I'll use. Starts with, in the normal bracket, hyphen, sorry, @ng hyphen model, comma, in this I'll say capital PH. Right. And is it finding that element? Sorry, I missed the I. Starts with. You see that? It is finding the element, and 1 of 4. I am using starts with function of XPath, and the ng model is starting with phone, right? PH I am taking just for an example. So I'll go to this one. Web element phone text box is equals to driver dot find element by dot XPath. I'll give this XPath, and phone text box, guys. I'll copy paste this phone text box dot send keys, and I need to mention, I'll use some dummy data. Okay, and the same way we'll take one more. We'll take one more. What is that? Password. Okay, we'll take one more, that is password. Yeah, password is having ID. Straight away I can take the ID, right? It's very simple. So I'll take web element, I'll say password text box is equals driver dot find element by dot ID. I'll give the ID directly, and then password text box dot send keys. Password, I'm just giving password. I'm giving some dummy data. Okay. After this, we'll try to execute. Okay. What we are doing, we are just by using these two lines, I'm setting the property to open. Here it is Gecko driver. I'll use Chrome driver. It is fast. So I'll write Chrome driver, and I'll change it to Chrome driver. Okay, I'll import Chrome driver, and so I'm setting the system property to open the Chrome driver, and I'm navigating to this particular URL. There I am finding different text boxes using here XPath, here tag name, here XPath with some method, here using ID. By taking different locators, I'm finding those elements, and I'm trying to fill something into that. So now if I run, it has to identify that element, it has to enter something into the text box using these different locators. Okay, right click, run as Java application. Now it has to open the Chrome browser and it has to navigate to that particular URL which we mentioned in the code, and then it has to enter something into the text box. Something means what we have given in the send keys method. You see that it is filling. That's it. It filled everything. Alright. Once you see in the first name text box, first name, last name, address, email @gmail.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and the password we masked here. That is the reason it's showing dots, but it entered password here also. Alright. It is identifying each and every element using different locators. Right. One text box we are identifying the X path, another with tag name, another with ID, and one of the text boxes using the X path, but it is not straight away. It starts with, instead of taking any attribute, one of the attributes starting with function. Right. These many ways we are identifying those elements and we are entering something into that text boxes. Right. Now we'll give one more try. We'll try to execute the same thing again and we'll see whether this time also it's working fine or not. Normally when you write any test script in your real-time scenario, you need to execute 2 to 3 times, right? Then only you will feel that, you'll know that consistency, whether the script is working fine or not. Okay, so it's best practice to execute the script twice or thrice to see the consistency. Okay, I executed 2 times, it is working fine, right? And the code is also very clean. Now this is not the enough in text boxes. So what else you can discuss in this? See, I'm identifying something and I'm just entering something. What else we need to discuss on this? So we have more things to discuss. So let's assume I have something in this text box, something like that. When I try to enter again in the same text box, what will happen? Right, in real time, you have some form you already filled. The next time when you go there, everything is saved and you are able to see that, what you say, data. So next time you are executing the same script, you already have something into the text box. Then when you try to enter something into that again, then what will happen? Right, we need to discuss all those things. So first what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll take this, I try to enter in the same text box one more time. I'll say first name 1, let's assume first name 1. In the same text box, I'm entering first name and again first name 1. Right. Then what will happen? We'll see. We'll give a try. Whether it is executing, whether it is replacing, or what it is doing. What is the behavior when you try to do something like this? You see that? It is appending. Okay. Anyhow, we'll have a doubt like immediately we are writing this. That is the reason it is. What I'll do, after completion of everything, I'll put here. Right. Here if you feel that, immediately I'm giving after this line, that is the reason it is continuously typing. But what I'll do, we'll give a try like after entering everything, I'll try to enter something into that first name text box again. Okay. Now we'll give a try like this. Then it will be very clear understanding what exactly happening, how it is behaving. Entered. You see that even then also it is not replacing, it is appending at the end of the existing text. That is the behavior when you try to enter something into the text box which is already having some data. Right. Then how you can handle this? Right. I do not want to append. See, if you want to append something, you can follow this way. But if you do not want to append, you want to replace. then what you can do? Right. So we'll try to give something like this. I don't know what I'll do. I'll give some empty. First I'll make that empty and we'll try to enter. I'm making empty this. I don't know. We'll give it a try. What exactly is happening? Normally it has to append at the end, right? But we'll try what it is doing. So it is not doing anything. It is highlighting, the cursor is highlighting at the end. So I am not giving anything. That is the reason. So in that situation, Control Z, Control X, sorry, Control Z, Control X, and I'll come here. Okay, we'll do the same thing. We'll do Control Z. Before entering into this text box, we have one more method here, right? That is called clear. Clear means it will clear the text box before enter something into that. Right. I already entered something like first name. When it comes here, first I am clearing this text box and I am entering first name 1. This time it should not append. It has to clear and enter the first name 1 in the text box. Means newly entered, sorry, newly typed. You see that? It cleared and it is giving now first name 1. Previously it is appending. Now it is replacing. So by using clear method, you can clear the text box. So this is all about handling text boxes. What it is, straight away you can enter something into the text box. If you want to append something, you can directly write again. Means you are directly use the syndicates method again on the same text box. Then it will append. But if you do not want to append, if you want to remove the text which is already there in the text box and you want to enter something else, new text into the text box, we have one more method called clear. Okay, you have to use that method, clear method, and it will clear the text box. Then you can enter something else which you want. Okay, this is how you can handle the text boxes in Selenium. Now we'll go to this handling radio buttons. So before going there, we need to understand the behavior of radio button. Right, I'll just click here. Right, I'll just click here. It will, what it is doing, it is simply selecting that radio button. Right, so the next time when you re-execute the same script, it will again click on the female. What will happen? Nothing will happen. How many times you click on the same radio button, nothing will happen. Right, it will say once you select, that's it. It will not unselect. That is the behavior of the radio button. If you want to unselect this one, you need to select other thing. But how many times you click on the same male radio button, it will be selected. If you want to unselect this, you have to choose another option, that is female. But if you click how many times on the same radio button, nothing will happen. Once it is selected, that's it. Why I am stressing all these things is, you need to understand the behavior. Means no need to bother about the second time also. If you execute the same thing, if it clicks on the same female button again, nothing will happen. Already selected, again it will select. Right, so I'll try to find this. We have one of the unique property, value equals to male. So here what I'll do, I'll write input, what is that, value is equals to male. Right, it is this is CSS selector. Okay, this time I'll use CSS selector. Okay, I'll come here, I'll create new class handling radio buttons. It's not a big deal, but we need to know what is happening, how it is behaving as part of basics. So what I'll do, I'll copy paste the same code from here to here as the same browser, same URL. Now web element mail radio button, right? Mail radio button is equals to driver dot find element by dot CSS selector, and you need to mention that CSS selector. What happened? Okay, I need to take once again. I'll take Control C or Command C according to your operating system. That's it. I found that. Now what I'll do, I will import this web element, and as this is a radio button, right? What you can perform on that? I need to click. Do you have anything like that? You see that? We have one of the methods called click. Use click. That's it. Very simple. Find that element using unique property and just click on that. Very, very simple. No need to bother about all these things. Nothing to discuss on this. Straight forwardly you have to click on that radio button after finding that. You see that? It clicked on this. Right. If you perform the same thing again, nothing will happen. Right. So each and every time I am writing something like this. First I am trying driver dot find element by dot locator will find that element, right? Till here it will find that element using this property. After that, after finding that particular element, we need to perform some action. But we can simplify this one also. What we can do, driver dot find element by dot CSS selector, and this is the CSS selector, right? Sorry, this is the one. Do we have, what is the second one? Female. We have female. Okay, I'll use female here. I can directly apply the methods on this line. Instead of writing like two lines, I'll say after this I'll say dot. Then you'll find all the methods. So I want to click. Right. I am merging these two lines into one line. But remember, this is best practice. The reason is the CSS selector or export, the locator may be very different. You cannot find, you see that here input value equal to male. This is a bit meaningful, but sometimes you will not find which element it is identifying. That time, if it depends upon this kind of syntax, you will not come to know that for which element I am identifying and what operations I am doing on that. I know I am clicking on some element. What is that element? I don't know. So that is the reason this is best practice. But while just practicing, for our convenience, we can use something like this. Okay. So we'll give it a try. First it has to click on that male radio button and then female radio button. So I'll give it a try. So it's navigating to that particular URL. You see that male and female. It's very fast. It is very fast, but it is working fine. Right. This is how you need to find that particular element and you need to perform some action. Means find the radio button, click on that. Nothing else to discuss on this. Okay. So that's all about handling radio buttons. Now we'll go to PPT and see the handling buttons. Okay, how you can handle a button. So go to the same site. I'll go to the home tab. Here home tab. This is demo.automationtesting.in. Straight away when you go here, you will find some buttons. Right, you will find some button. Skip sign in is a button. You see that it's a button tag. ID equals to button 2. right? This button 2, when I say hash button 2, yeah, it is finding the element uniquely. So I'll go to this URL and I'll try to find this element using ID or CSS. When I click on this, it is navigating to the next page, right? Whether it is happening the same thing or not, we'll see. So what I'll do, I will create one more class. I'll say handling buttons. I'll select this, finish. So I'll take the same code again from our previous class. So Control V. Here, instead of going to registered HTML, I'll directly go to demo.automation testing.in, the main page, okay, landing page. So here, web element skip sign in button is equals to driver dot find element by dot id. Then I'll find the id btn2, right? It is btn2. Yes, btn2. So, and then I need to import this web element and then skip sign in button dot button. Also you'll perform the click action only, right? So I'll simply click. That's it. How you perform the actions on the radio button, the same way in the buttons also. Button, radio button, same logic. But in the radio button, if you click on that, it will just select. But in the button, you might have different types of actions. It may navigate to another page, it may save something. It depends upon the logic you have written behind that button. Okay, so that is the only difference. I'll give it a try. Run as Java application, and it is how it opened. You see that it clicked on that, it is navigating to the next page. Means it's finding that element. It is working perfectly, right? Nothing to discuss on this. Very simple. Find the element, click on that. That's it. The same way how we handle the radio button, on the same way button also. Okay. Now we'll move to the next one. What is that? Handling checkboxes, right? Handling checkboxes. So here we need to discuss something on this. First we'll go step by step. We'll go the same thing here, and we have what you say, cricket. Input type equal checkbox, id equal checkbox 1, second one id equal checkbox 2. So we have checkbox 1, checkbox 2, checkbox 3 unique properties, that is called IDs. So straight away I can use ID, right? So first what we will do, we'll go here, we'll try to create one more class handling checkboxes, and public static void finish. And I'll take the same code again from here. From here I want to go to the register.html. So I'll paste this. So first I need to find the checkbox. What is that? Cricket checkbox. Okay, right, we have cricket and checkbox 1, web element cricket checkbox is equals to driver dot find element by dot id, and I'll give the id checkbox 1. Okay, and I need to import web element. I'll import this, and then what actions you can perform on this. Now you need to discuss something on this. Okay, here also I need to click on this. That's fine, perfectly fine. How radio button, how button, it is working the same way. Checkbox also we have, what is that? click method, I can perform the click. Now what will happen when I execute the same script? It already checked. If I try to execute the same script, next time when it comes and find the checkbox, and when I try to click again, you see that it will uncheck. This is the peculiar behavior of checkbox. If you try to, if you click once, it will check. If you click again, it will uncheck. Check, uncheck. So the next time when you execute in the same script, if it is unchecked, so you are executing wrong steps. As part of your test case, you need to select the checkbox. But the next time when you are executing, when it clicks on that, it will uncheck. So you are not following your steps, right? Then what we can do? So first we'll try to do plain way, then we'll discuss that. So cricket checkbox dot click, right? We'll give a try first, whether it is executing fine or not, and then we'll discuss all these things which we discussed. It is navigating there. Yeah, it selected that checkbox. Okay, everything fine. Now I cannot replicate the same scenario saving all these things. The reason is the dummy website. I cannot save. What I'll do, I'll execute the same step again. I'll click on the same checkbox again. I will see the behavior, how it is. So it has to uncheck, right? First it has to check and then uncheck. It will happen the same thing which we discussed, right? If it is saving the checkbox, check, and they execute the same script again, then it will uncheck. You see that very fast, and it checked and unchecked. So we cannot see, that is very fast. Okay, fine. We'll do one thing. We'll give here what I'll give, thread dot sleep. Okay, and give 5 seconds, 5000 milliseconds, that is 5 seconds. Thread dot sleep. What it will do? What is the use of this? It will pause the execution for specified time. Okay, here 5000 milliseconds it is, means 5 seconds. When you mention something like this, it will pause the execution for 5 seconds. Okay, after that only it will go to the next line. So you can see what is happening exactly. You see, click, wait for 5 seconds. Yeah, it clicked again, it unchecked. So this is the behavior. Now, if this is the case, there is a chance of failing your test case. Then how you can handle this? Okay, so before, the normal way, how you do manually, you executed this test case. The first time you checked the checkbox and you saved, it's working fine. In the next regression or after some time you want to execute the same script and you came here, you want to select cricket checkbox. What you will do while trying to click on this, it already selected. What you will do? Okay, it is already selected, so no need to select again. So you will not even touch this. The reason is, as per your requirement, cricket checkbox should be checked. Already it is checked, so you will not touch that. So how you will replicate the same? As we are human beings, we will come to know that. But how Selenium will come to know that whether it is selected or not? So we need to replicate the same thing. Before selecting the checkbox, we need to check that whether the checkbox is checked or not. If it is not checked, check. If it is checked, don't check. That logic we need to write. So for that, we have provision in this. So what I'll do, I found this one. Okay, what I'll do, for some time I'll comment those code. Now what I'll do, if condition, if cricket checkbox dot, you have one of the methods called is selected. Selected means already clicked. Is selected. So if it is selected, then if I say click, okay, is selected. If it is true, it will go inside this, right? How if will work? If true, it will go inside this block. Cricket checkbox dot is selected. If it is selected, you will get true. Already selected, you will get true. If you go inside that and click, it will unselect. So how you will handle? So in this condition, in front of this one, if you use negation symbol, means exclamatory symbol, means it is reverse of this one. Okay, it is reverse of this one. If it is not selected, this mentions not. Okay, if not selected, then go inside this and select. Okay, so if it is not selected, this code will give you false. If the checkbox is not selected, the highlighted code cricket checkbox dot is selected will give you false. This is negation symbol, means reverse of that. Reverse of false, true. Then it will become true. If it becomes true, it will go inside this. Then it will click. If it is not selected, then it will select. So you need to use this behavior, means this logic. So when you say this one, the first time it is already not selected, that is the reason it will select. You see that it's selected. The reason is it is not selected. Now we'll try to replicate the same thing again. We'll try to execute. So what I'll do, I'll remove this code, that comment and this comment. First time it will select, even I'm not checking any condition. After that I'll wait for 5 seconds. The second time when I'm clicking, here I'm not finding, here I'm not looking for any condition, right, whether it is selected or not selected. I'm just clicking on that again. That is the reason it is unselected. Here after selecting, when I'm checking the checkbox second time, I'm just checking whether it is selected or not. Here already selected, so this condition will give you true. Not true means it will become false. If it is false, it will not go inside this. If it is not going inside this, means it will not execute this. Then it will not execute this block. It will click only. Okay, I'm just trying to replicate that. In the real time, this much code is enough. Before clicking on that, if it is not selected, select, otherwise don't select. So it click, it will wait for 5 seconds. After that, we are checking the condition. That is the reason it will not uncheck. You see that it's more than 5 seconds. Still it is checked. The reason is we are checking the condition. You see that test completed and still it is unselected, means it is verifying that condition. Oh, it is already selected, so no need to click again. If it is not selected, then click. If it is already selected, don't click. This logic is working fine. So you need to follow this way in real-time scenarios. Okay, that's all about checkbox. In simple words, you just find that element, click on that. But the second time when you click on the same checkbox, it will unselect, uncheck. So that is the reason you need to understand this logic. Okay, you need to understand the element, how it is behaving first. Then only you can interact with that effectively. Okay. That's all about all these things. Thank you.